Hello and welcome to another exam paper walkthrough. I'm going to be carrying on with our GCSE math series, and this is an Edexcel predicted topic paper. This is preparation for a paper 3H, and this is what I've called a most likely paper. So attached to the description to this video, you'll find a link to a Google Drive where you can download a copy of this paper. And this is in preparation for the June 25 exam series. And these are topic lists taken from First Class Maths. So they've done some fantastic work and produced, again, a really prompt and good version of key topics to revise. And this has been based around all of their 5-star topics. So that's why I've called it most likely topic. If you've not checked out their revision list, then head over to their website. They're also going to be producing a paper as well. I'd recommend a bit of music on in the background to get the most out of this video, just to make it a bit more enjoyable while you're doing it. Whenever I'm recording them, I have some music on in the background. If you do find this video useful, please do subscribe if you like, and you'll get notified as soon as my breakfast material or any other revision material becomes available. Right, let's crack on with the paper. Right. Question one. John, Sansa, and Bran are playing a game with counters. John has some counters. Sansa has twice as many counters as John. Bran has 6 counters less than Sansa. In total, they have 54 counters. The number of counters that John has to the number of counters Bran has is 1 to P. Work out the value of P. Okay. So I'm going to set this up as a 3-part ratio to start with, J, S, and B. I'm going to say that John has X counters. If John has X counters, then Sansa has got twice as many, so 2X. And Bran has got 6 counters less than Sansa, so that would be 2X minus 6. And then we know that their total is 54, so I'm going to say that that is equal to 54. So I'm going to jump straight to trying to solve this then. Form an equation. X plus 2x plus 2x is going to give me 5x. Minus 6 is equal to 54. So if I add 6 to both sides, I'd get 5x is equal to 60, meaning that x is equal to 12. Right, I want John and Bran, so this one and this one. So if I set that up as J to B, then is going to be 12 to 24 minus 6 is going to be 18. If I simplify by dividing by 6 to start with, that would be 2 to 3. So it's going to be 1 to 1.5. Question 2. £360 is shared between Arya, Bron, Cersei, and Davos. The ratio of the amount that Arya gets to the amount that Bron gets is 2 to 7. Cersei and Davos each get 1.5 the amount that Arya gets. Work out the amount of money that Bron gets. Okay, so to do this, I'm going to set it up as a 3-part ratio, 4-part ratio, just to help me construct it. So we know that their total is going to be 360, but we'll come back to that in a second. Arya to Bron is 2 to 7, so A to B 2 to 7. Cersei and Davos each get 1.5 times the amount that Arya gets. Work out the amount that Bron gets. So if I call this X for now, and then 1.5 would be 3x and 3x. And we know that the total for that is 360. So what we can say is if we add these parts together, a bit like we did with question 1, we've got 10, we've got 15. So 15x is going to be equal to 360. So if I divide both sides by 15, then x is going to be equal to 360 divided by 15. We'll use calculator. I'm sure we can do that, but we're looking at 24. Yeah, 24. So x is going to be 24. So 7x is going to be 7 times that. So times by 7, 168. So Bron would get 168. Okay, question 3. Sam cycles a distance of 30 kilometers at an average speed of 24 kilometers per hour. He then runs a distance of 12 kilometers at an average speed of 8 kilometers per hour. Work out the total time that Sam takes. Give your answer in hours and minutes. Okay, so if we look at the cycle part first of all, so if we want the time taken, so if speed is equal to distance divided by time, then time is going to be equal to distance divided by speed. So he travels a distance of 30 in 24 kilometers. So that's going to be equal to 30 divided by 24, 1.25 of an hour. So I'm actually going to say 1.25 hours. So 1.25. Right, then if we look at, in a similar fashion, the run part. So for the run part, again, we've got distance and speed and we want time. So the time is going to be equal to the distance divided by the speed. So 12 divided by 8, which is going to be 12 divided by 8.5. So 1.5 hours. So in total, that's going to give me then, oh, so I missed 1.5. My half off. 1.5 hours. Right, so that's going to be a total of 2 hours. And then a quarter of an hour is 15, 30. So we're going to be 45 minutes. Right, question 4. Here is a list of 6 terms in a quadratic sequence. So we'll get away from the calculator for now. Find an expression in terms of n for the nth term of the sequence. Right, so I'm going to just write it again here, giving myself a bit of space to look, because I'm going to be looking at the second differences. So the first set of differences is 6, is 10, is 14, and then is 18. So the second differences are 2, 2, 2, no, 4, 4, 4, which means that there's going to be a 2n squared in my sequence. So if I then say that 2n squared is going to be equal to, if n is 1, that would be 2. If n is 2, 4, 8. If n is 3, 18. If n is 4, 16, 32, and 50. And then what do I need to do to this to get to the sequence? So if that's my sequence, so if I need to subtract 3 from each of these. So my sequence is going to be, so the difference from there to there is -3, -3. So my sequence is going to be 2n squared -3. Question 5. The group frequency table gives information about the time in minutes that 80 office workers take to get to work. Okay, complete the cumulative frequency. So we're just adding the frequencies. So the first cumulative frequency is going to be 5. The next one is going to be 5 plus 30, which would be 35. We've then got 35 plus 20, which would be 55. 55 plus 15 is going to be 70, 78, then 80. Double check. Yeah, 80 office workers, and we've got an 80 total, so that's a good sign. On the grid, draw the cumulative frequency graph of this information. So we plot these at the maximum point. Right, so this is going to be the point 25, and then so on. So 20 and 5 is there. My next point then is going to be 40, 35, 40, 35. My next point is going to be 60, 55, 60, 55. I've then got 80 and 70. So 80 and 70. Struggling with my paper. We've then got 178. And then finally 120, 80. Then we're going to join these with a smooth curve. We can join this to 0. I always debate. That one looks out though. Let's just double check that. Yeah, I've plotted it at too high. Should have been 35. There we go. That's more like it. Right. So these should be joined with a smooth curve. Obviously, on the screen, I'm not great with the smooth curve. And we will join this one to 0. And it's not very good looking curve. Okay, use your graph to work out an estimate for the percentage of office workers who take more than 90 minutes to get to work. So we're going to use 90, go up to our graph, and then read off our value. So that is looking like 75. So that is 75 out of 80. That have a time of less, we want more than. So if there are only 80 workers, that's going to be 80. That's going to be 5 out of 80 times by 100. So 5 out of 80 times by 100 gives us 6.25%. And there'll be a band of range of answers that would be acceptable here. Mine's roughly 75, but if you had anything between 72 and 76, that would be fine. So anything in between 5% to 10% is absolutely fine. Right, question 6. Tywin buys a laptop. He gets 5% off the normal price. Tywin pays £551 for the laptop. Work out the normal price of the laptop. So if there's a 5% off, then that means that he's paid for 95%, which would be a multiplier of 0.95. So if the original price times by 0.95 is equal to 551, then we can find the original price by doing 551 divided by 0.95. So 551 over 0.95 gives us £580 for the original price. Right, Joffrey invests £6,000 in a savings account. The savings account pays compound interest at a rate of 2.4% for the first year, 1.7% for each year afterwards. Work out the value of Joffrey's investment at the end of the 3 years. Right, so 2.4% for the first year is a multiplier of 1.024, and then 1.7 would be a multiplier of 1.017, and we want 3 years, so that's the first year plus another 2. So we need to do 6,000 times by 1.024 times by 1.017 squared, and that gives us total amount. So 6,000 times by 1.024 times by 1.017 squared gives us a total of £6,354 and 6716 ... show no rounding, and then my answer becomes £6,354 67 pence. Right, question 7. The universal set is odd numbers less than 30. Set A is 3, 9, 15, 21, and 27, and set B is 5, 15, 25. Complete the Venn diagram to represent this information. Right, so the first step is to label my two circles A and B. And then I'm going to do it like this. I'm going to do my intersection first of all. So it looks like I've only got 15 as my intersection. Right, and then that means that set B, we have left 5 and 25. And then set A has got 3, 9, 21, and 27. And then we're not quite there because we've not covered all of the odd numbers. So I'm just going to list them down here. And I always try and list them, even though I don't need to. It just makes things easier for my marker. So my first one is 1, 3, 5, 7, 9, 11, 13, 15, 17, 19, 21, 23, 25, 27. So that should be them all. I've missed out 29 clearly, so we'll put 29 there. Right, a number is chosen at random from the universal set. What is the probability that the number is in the set A, U, B? So that's the union. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 numbers in the union out of a total of 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 numbers. So 7 out of 15. Right, question 8. Shay was driving to a hotel. He looked at his sat nav at 1:30, time 1:30, distance to destination 65. Shay arrives at the hotel at 14:48. Work out the average speed of the car for the last part of the journey. Okay, you must show all of your working. Right, so the distance here, the difference in time then is 1 hour and 12 minutes. 1 hour and 18 minutes. So if we want his average speed, speed is equal to distance divided by time, but we need our time in hours. So that's actually 1 and 18 out of 60, because there are 60 minutes in an hour, and that's just the real nice simple way of doing that. So we've got a distance of 65 divided by a time of 1 hour and 18/60ths. And I'm going to type it in like that. Obviously, we could divide by 6. That would give me 3 out of 10, but I'm just going to type it in like that. So 65, 65, and then here I'm going to type a mixed fraction, so 1 and 18/60ths. So we've got speed of 50 miles an hour. Right, question 9. Brianne invests £3,550 in a savings account for 3 years. She was paid 2.6% per annum compound interest for each of the first 2 years. She was paid R% interest for the third year. Brianne has £3,819.21 in her savings account at the end of the 3 years. Work out the value of R, giving your answer correct to one decimal place. Okay, so what I'm going to say is 2.6 compound interest is going to be a multiplier of 1.026. And then I'm going to say my next multiplier is going to be equal to I'm going to call it Y for now. And I'll come back to that because I'm going to work out the value of Y and then I'm going to convert that to a percentage afterwards. It'll be 1 point something. Right, so 3,550 times by 1.026 for 2 years. times by y is going to be equal to 3,800 £819.21. So I'm just going to jump straight to saying then that y is going to be equal to £3,819.21 divided by 3,550 times by 1.026 squared. So £3,819.21 divided by £3,550 times by 1.026 squared gives me a value of 1.02199. So that means then that x is going to be so x as a percentage will be 2.199 ... So we wanted it to one decimal place, so that's going to be 2.2%. Right, question 10. X and y are integers such that x is greater than 3 but less than 8, y is greater than 4 but less than 10, and x plus y is equal to 14. Find all the possible values for x. Okay, so x can only be 4, 5, 6, and 7. Y can only be 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And we need them to add together to make 14. So my only combinations that are going to add together to make 18 are going to 14, sorry. Well, I could have a 9 and a 5. Find all of the possibilities for x. So we could have a 9 and a 5. So I'll say x and y. So let's start with y. Y could be 9 and x could be 5. Y could be 8 and then x could be 6. Y could be 7 and x could be 7. So then if we said 6, 6 won't work. So my possible answers are 5, 6, and 7. Right, question 11. Sansa bought a new car 3 years ago. At the end of the first year, the value of the car had decreased by 12.5%. The value of the car then decreases by 10% each year for the next 2 years. At the end of the 3 years, the value of the car was £17,010. Work out the value of the car when Sansa bought it 3 years ago. Right, so I'm going to call that price X to start with. At the end of the first year, it had decreased by 12.5%. So that would become a multiplier of 0.875. The value then depreciates by 10% each year, so that's a multiplier of 0.9. So X times by 0.875 times by 0.9 squared, because we're doing it over a 3-year period, is equal to £17,010. So the original value of the car then, a bit like the one that we did earlier, is 17,010 divided by 0.875 times by 0.9 squared. So that means the original value is 17,010. Don't need a second fraction there. 0.875 times by 0.9 squared. Double check I've typed everything in right. So we've got 24,000. Right, question 12. Make m the subject of this formula. Right, so I'm going to start by multiplying both sides by the denominator here. That would give me, I'm also going to multiply it out, so fm minus f is equal to 3m plus 4. Now I'm going to take my f's over to this side and my numbers, my m's over to the right, m's over to the left, everything else over to the right, just to keep everything positive where I can. Well, reduce the number of negatives anyway. Right, so that would give me fm minus 3m is equal to 4 plus f, or f plus 4. If we factorize that then, so that would be f minus 3 is equal to 4 plus f. So m is going to be equal to 4 plus f over, very good f, over f minus 3. Right, so m is equal to 4 plus f divided by f plus minus 3. Right, question 13. A and B are points on the circle of centre O. CAD is the tangent to the circle at A. BOD is a straight line. The angle ODA is 32. Calculate the size of angle CAB. So we're after this angle here. Work out, so yeah, you must show all of your working. Right, so it's not asking us to state the reasons, but I'm going to say that that angle there is going to be 90 degrees. So OAD is going to be equal to 90 degrees because the radius and the tangent meet at 90 degrees. I'm then going to say that this angle here, so AOD, is going to be equal to, we could do 180 minus 90 minus 32, but I'm just going to do 90 minus 32. The reason being is it just 180 minus 90 is going to be 90. So that's going to give me 58. So that means then that angle BOA is going to be equal to, and I could have just added those two together, it's going to be equal to, we'll do it this way though, 180 minus 58 is going to be equal to 122. Then I'm going to say then that BOAC, do it up here, OAC is going to be equal to, well, this is going to become, that's a radius and that's a radius, so we've got an isosceles triangle. So it's going to be 180 minus 122 divided by 2, which is going to give me 58 divided by 2, which is going to give me 26. No, not 26, 29. Because it's going to be 58 divided by 2, which will be 29. So this angle here must also be a right angle. So we can say then that CAB is going to be equal to 90 minus 29, which is going to give me 61. So 61 degrees. Right, question 14. Here is a triangle. Work out the area of the triangle, giving your answer to 3 significant figures. So the area of a non-right angle triangle is going to be half of AB sine C. So that's going to become a half of 11.2 times by 4.3 times by sine of the angle, so sine of 118. So let's do that. 0.5 times by 11.2 times by 4.3 times by sine of the angle. Double check I'm in degrees. 118. So we're looking at 21.2613 dot dot dot. So no rounding. So to three significant figures, that's going to be 21.3. Okay, question 15. A solid cone is joined to a solid hemisphere to make solid T, shown below. The diameter of the base of the cone is 7 centimeters. The diameter of the hemisphere is 7 centimeters. Okay. The total volume T is 120 pi centimeters cubed. The total height of T is y centimeters. Calculate the value of y, giving your answer correct to three significant figures. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is I'm not actually gonna find y. I'm gonna relabel it, and I'm gonna find x to start with, and then obviously the radius of the hemisphere is going to be 3.5 because it's going to be half of 7, and then I'm going to add that to x. Okay, right, so if we're told we can do it as one sum or two, we'll do it as two sums. So if we start with the volume of the hemisphere, I'll put VHS. So it's going to be half of the volume of a sphere, so it's going to be half times by 4/3 times by pi times by 3.5 cubed. Right, so that is going to give me 4/6 times by 3.5 cubed. Times by 343/8 pi. So the volume of that is going to be, if I just times that then by 4/6, actually I could have called that 2/3, but it doesn't matter. So 343/12 pi. Right, and the volume of the cone then is going to be equal to, volume of the cone is going to be equal to 1/3 pi times by 3.5 squared times by x. Right. So we could do a much tidier version of this actually. I'm not going to worry about it too much though. So if I do 1/3 times by 3.5 squared, that's going to be 49/12 pi times by x. Right, and we know that the total volume is going to, so these two things are going to add together to make 120 pi. So we will say then 343/12 plus, we'll actually take pi out as a factor just because I'm going to get rid of pi in a moment. Plus 49/12x is equal to 120 pi. Then I can get rid of my pi's. Right, I'm going to times through by 12 as well. So I'm going to times through by 12 just to get rid of my denominators. That's going to give me, I'm going to move, I'll do it here for now. So 343 plus 49x is going to be equal to 120 times by 12 is going to give me 1,440, which means then that 49x is going to be equal to this value minus 343. So that's going to be equal to 1097. So x then is going to be equal to 1097 over 49. So y is going to be equal to 3.5 plus 1099 over, 97 over 49. So let's do that then. So I want that divided by 49 is going to equal that. And then I want to do 3.5 plus my answer. So that's going to be my value there. So that is 25.9887 dot dot dot. So to three significant figures, that's going to be 25.9. Right. The diameter of the base of the cone and the diameter of the hemisphere are both increased by the same amount. Assuming that the total volume of T does not change, explain what effect this would have on your answer to part A. So if we increase the diameter of these two, but the volume doesn't decrease, our value for y must decrease. So if both diameters increase, but volume stays the same, y must decrease. Because if you think about the dimensions, if this increases and this increases, this must decrease if the volume stays the same. Okay, question 16. Make M the subject of this formula. Right, so that's the term that I want to make the subject, so get by itself. So I'm going to move P over first of all. So K minus P is going to be equal to 2M over 5. And they're going to times both sides by 5 and divide by 2. So I'm going to do it like 5 lots of K minus P divided by 2 is equal to M. So M is equal to 5 lots of K minus P, all divided by 2. Right, question 17. A solid frustum is made by removing a small cone from a large cone as shown in the diagram. The slant height of the small cone is 6. The slant height of the large cone is 10. The radius of the base of the larger cone is 3. Calculate the total surface area of the frustum. Give your answer correct to 3 significant figures. Okay, the first thing then that I want to work out is the radius of the smaller cone. So the radius of the smaller cone, we can do this with a scale factor between the lengths. So what I would need to do is 3 divide. So I'm going to say 3 times by the scale factor, which would be 6 over 10. That's going to give me 3 over 5, so 9 over 5. So R is going to be equal to 9 over 5, which would be 1.8. Right, and I'm going to try and do this as one sum then. So Total surface area then, so the curved surface area is going to be equal to the curved surface area of the larger one, which will be pi times by times by 3. From that, I need to subtract pi times by 1.8 times by 6. So I can take pi out, and that's going to be 30 minus 1.8 times by 6 minus 54 over 5. That's going to give me 30 minus that answer, and then I want to times that by pi. So we'll do it as exact first of all. So that's going to give us so 60.31 dot dot dot. To be fair, I'm going to use that though. So that's going to give us the surface area of the curved surface area. To that, we're going to have to add on the area of the two circles. So the total surface area then, so we'll change pen colour for this. So the total surface area is going to be equal to the area of the two circles. So that's going to be probably keep it in terms of pi. So 96 over 5 pi plus pi times 3 squared plus pi times 1.8 squared. So if we go back to that, and then we want to add on, and I'm just going to take pi out as a factor here. Pi times by 3 squared squared, pi squared plus 1.8 squared. So we're looking at 786 over 25 pi, which as a decimal gives us 98.7716. I do want to write that somewhere, but not really on my answer line. So I'll write it here. I'll put an arrow just to show that I'm writing it here. Just because I like to write my answer down without rounding before rounding. Just so if I've made a mistake, it's not. So to three significant figures, that's going to be 98.8, 98.8. Right, question 18. The table gives information about the distance in miles that some year 10 students live from school. So frequency, and we've got our distance in miles. Draw a histogram for this information. Okay, so I'm going to work out my frequency density then. So frequency density is going to be equal to frequency divided by class width. So if I put my widths in, I've got a width of 1, a width of 0.5, a width of 0.5. You're right. A width of 1 and then a width of 2. So my frequency density is frequency divided by width. So 90 divided by 1 is 90. 48 divided by 0.5 is the same as 48 times by 2. So that's going to be 96. 22 divided by 0.5 is going to be 44. 8 and then 12 divided by 2 is going to give me 6. All right. So we want to go up to 100 really. So let's see how many squares we've got. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5's are reasonable, so we're going to go up in 20s. So 20, 40, 60, 80, 100. My first one then is 0 to 1, and I need to go up to 90. So that's going to be put my blocks in to start with. Then I want to go up to 96. So this is going to be going up in 4s, so that's going to be up to there. And that one's only half wide. My next block is going to go up to 44. So let me just clear that up. So this is going to go up. If that's going to be 10, then this is going up in 2s. So I should have gone to there instead from that second block. 44 then is going to be there. And that block was it half again? I then want to do 2 to 3 as 8, which is going to be there. And then finally 3 to 5 and 6. So that's going to be there. Right. So now, well, just got a fancy ruler out to try and draw this semi-accurate. And the first line didn't work. Oh, it's going so well. Okay, so that's my histogram. The histogram below shows the information about distance in miles that some Year 11 students live from school. The number of Year 11 students who live between 1 and 2 miles from the school is n. Find an expression in terms of n for the number of Year 11 students who live between 3 and 5 miles. Okay, so let's not overly complicate this. Number of Year 11 students who live between 1 and 2, so that's 1 and 2, is n miles. So that distance there is 1. So if the area of that is 1, then that must mean, sorry, the area of that is n. It must mean that n is my frequency density there. Find an expression in terms of n for the number of Year 11 students who live between 3 and 5 miles. So this is going to be a bar of 2. So we just kind of need to work out, so if that's n, that's not overly nice. So that's n over 3, 2/3 of n, and that's 1/3 of n. So we want to do then 1/3 of n, or n over 3, times by times by 3/5, because that's 3/5 of a square, times by 2. So that's going to become 2n over 5. 2n over 5 is going to be, find an expression, so I'm going to go 2n over 5, I think. So 2n over 5. We could have gone 0.4n, that would be fine as well. Right, question 19. The first 4 terms of a Fibonacci sequence are A, 2A, 3A, 5A. The sum of the first 5 terms of the sequence is 228. Work out the value of A. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4 terms here. So the 5th term is going to be 3a plus 5a, so that's going to be 8a. This, if we add these together, we're going to have 3, 6, 11, 19a. So 19a is going to be equal to 228. So a is going to be equal to 228 divided by 19, which is going to give us about 12, I think. 228 divided by 19 gives 12. So a is 12. Right, question 20. The graph of the curve C with the equation of y is equal to f of x is transformed to give a graph of curve S with the equation of f of minus 3, f of minus x minus 3. Point C, the point on C with coordinates of 7, 2 is mapped to the point Q on S. Find the coordinate of Q. Okay, I'm going to kind of do it in two stages. So y is equal to f of x has the coordinate 7, 2. If I then say that that point is going to become on y of minus x, that is a reflection in the x-axis. So that would be the point minus 7, 2. And then so y is equal to f of minus x minus 3. My y coordinate is then going to be reduced by 3. So that's going to be minus 7. And then 3 off that one is going to become minus 1. So that's going to be my Q. Minus 7, minus 1. Minus 1. Okay, question 21. I need to sort out that editing before I put the paper out. Right. Write f of x, write x squared minus 8x plus 3 in the form x minus a all squared minus b, where a and b are integers. So we're completing the square here. If I take the term into a bracket for now. Right, if I complete the square on these parts, the first two terms, that's going to become x minus half of that squared, but then from that I'm going to have to subtract 16, and then I've still got that plus 3. So that's going to become x minus 4 all squared minus 13. Right, hence write down the coordinate of the turning point. So the turning point is when this value is going to be 0. So x would need to be 4 to make that 0. And when x is 4, this value will just be equal to minus 13. So that's going to be the coordinate of the turning point. 4 minus 13. Right, part B. Solve 7x squared plus 8x minus 5 is equal to 0, giving your solution correct to 3 significant figures. We're going to use a formula for this. So x is going to be equal to minus b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac, all divided by 2a. So a, b, c. So that's going to become minus 8 plus or minus the square root of 8 squared minus 4 times 7 times minus 5. And that's all going to be divided by 2 lots of a, so divided by 14. Right, I'm going to use my calculator. I'm not going to bother tidying anything up. So minus 8. I'm going to go for my negative value first of all. The square root of 8 squared minus, actually I'm going to do it as plus, save the awkwardness of putting the second negative in. 4 times 7 times 5, all divided by 14. So that gives us my first value. So I'll write minus 4 plus or minus the square root of 51 over 7. So my first value then is going to be equal to the negative version. So minus 1.5916 dot dot dot. Then I'm going to put my positive version in. So my positive version is 0.4487 dot dot dot. So I'm going to go to three significant figures, minus 1.59 or 0. So significant figure here changes 0.449. Alex has to find the solution of the quadratic equation 3k squared plus 10k minus 8 is equal to 0. Here is his working an answer. Okay. What mistake has Alex made? So his mistake is this one. So I'm going to say if 3k minus 2 is equal to 0, then k would be equal to 2/3, not 2. Okay, so just sorting that editing out. So A, B, C, D are points on the circumference of a circle of center O. AC is the diameter of the circle, so AC is the diameter of the circle. We've got two straight lines. Work out the size of an angle BDC. So B to D to C. So we want this angle here. Okay, right. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm just sort of planning this in my head before I explain it. Right, I've got a 90-degree angle there because we've got diameter to circumference. We've got this has got to be 35 because of angles at the angles from the subtended from the same arc to the circumference are equal. So I'll put 35 in there for now. Right, let's work at this angle here. And once I've got these two angles, I can work at this angle. And then I can use that to work out. Right. Okay. So I'm going to start by saying then, let's switch back to red. So angle DBC is equal to 35, and then I'll put the circle theorem I've used there. So angles at the circumference from the same arc, angles at circumference, subtended from same arc or chord are equal. I'm then going to say then that BDE, I've done that in purple, so I'll do it in purple. So BDE is going to be equal to 180 minus 35 plus 28. And reason for that is angles in a triangle equal 180, although it doesn't say we need that, so we're not going to get any marks for that. So 180 minus 35 plus 28. So that's going to be 117, which means then that ADB is going to be equal to, actually I didn't need to, I've wasted a bit of my time here. Could have said the exterior angle of a triangle is equal to the sum of the other two sides, but that doesn't matter. So 180 minus 117, which is going to be equal to 5063. And again, that is angles along a straight line, but we don't really need that. So let's put that in then. So we know then that that angle there is 63. So the final step that I'm going to do then is to say that the angle that I'm after, BDC, is going to be equal to 90 minus 63. It's going to give me 27. And then the reason for that is, so my reason is angles from a semicircle equal 90 degrees. So 27. Right, question 23. CDEF is a quadrilateral. CD is equal to A, so we haven't got that in at the moment. C to D is equal to A. D to E is equal to B, for case B. And angle, and F to C, so F to C is A minus B. Express F to E in its simplest form first of all. So E to F is going to be equal to, sorry, F to E is going to be equal to A minus B plus A plus B. Which is going to give us just 2A. So 2A. Right, M is the midpoint of DE. X is the point on FM such that F to X to M is equal to N to 1. CXE is a straight line. Work out the value of N. Right, so let's just add that. Terribly wobbly line. Let's try that one more time before I give up. I've got a special metal ruler to help me draw my lines, but it's working against the magnetization of my pen, which is causing me several issues. So we know that that's a straight line, which means that one is a scalar with the other. Okay, so for this, the first thing I'm going to say is if C to E is a straight line, well, C to E has got to be equal to A plus B. Because I'm going that path, C to D, D to E. So C to E is going to be A plus B. So if it's a straight line, then C to X must be a multiple of this. So it must be, let's say, K. K lots of A plus B. Right, and I'm going to come back to that, and I'm going to, in a sense, work out X to X using a multiple of F to M. Right, so I'm going to now say then that X to F, no, I'm going to say that C to X has got to be equal to C to F plus F to X. Right, so C to X is We're going backwards along that branch, so that's going to be minus a plus b. So minus a plus b. And then x to f, well, we've just worked out f to e. So x to f to x is going to be equal to a fraction of f to n. The fraction it's going to be equal to is, if I call that, I know that's n and that's 1, it's going to be equal to n over n plus 1, lots of f to m. And f to m is going to be 2a plus, no, actually minus a half b, so minus 0.5b. Right. So if I tidy this up a little bit, right, so that's going to give me minus, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to multiply this out and put my a's next to each other. So minus a plus 2 lots of this, so I'm going to call that 2n over n plus 1 lots of a. And then, so that's kind of, I'm going to put that in a bracket just to help me out a little bit here. And then my b's are going to be equal to plus b, that's that part there, minus 0.5 times that would actually give me n over 2 lots of, so I've just said that it's a fraction of a half, n plus 1 lots of b. Right. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take a out as a factor. So that would give me minus 1 plus 2n over n plus 1 lots of a plus, and I'm going to do the same for b then, 1 minus n over 2 lots of n plus 1 b. Right, now we've said here, so we've got two versions of x to f now. So we said here that c to x must be a multiple of a plus b. And we've also saying that c to x must be this times by a plus this times by b. Because of that, we'd need to be able to take this, this would need to have the same value for us to be able to take it out as a common factor. So these two things must be equal. Have I got enough space to do this? Struggling a little bit, so I'm going to zoom in a tiny bit. So minus 1 plus, actually I'm going to put this over the same denominator at this as I do this. No, I'm not. Right, so minus 1 plus 2n over n plus 1 has to be equal to 1 minus n over 2 lots of n plus 1. I missed out a bracket there. Right, now if I take my numbers and all of my n's as it is over to the left, that would give me 2n over n plus 1 plus n over 2 lots of n plus 1, and that's got to be equal to 2. So if I put this over the same denominator, that's going to be 2 lots of n plus 1. What that would give me, I'd need to times this by 2, so that would be 4n plus n, and that's got to be equal to 2. If I multiply through by this denominator then and tidy that up slightly, that's going to give me 5n has got to be equal to 4 lots of n plus 1. So 5n has got to be equal to 4n plus 1, which means then that n must be plus 4. 4 times n would give me 4n. 4 times 1 would give me 4. So n has got to be equal to 4. So n is going to be equal to 4. Right, question 24. 50 people asked if they speak French or German or Spanish. Of these people, 31 speak French, 2 speak French, German, and Spanish. 4 speak French and Spanish, but not German. 7 speak German and Spanish. 8 do not speak any of the languages all. 8 do not speak any of the languages all. 10 people who speak German at least one. 10 people who speak German speak at least one other language. 2 of the 50 people are chosen at random. Work out the probability that they both speak Spanish. Right, let's give us a bit more space for this. Right. We're going to really need a three-way Venn diagram here. So I'm going to try and draw this as neatly as I can. So that will do. And I've got my 3 languages. We'll say French, German, and Spanish. Right. 31 people speak French. We can't put that in, but those 4 sections need to add up to 31. 2 speak French, German, and Spanish. So we need 2 in the intersection of the 3 sections. 4 speak French and Spanish, but not German. So French and Spanish, but not German. So that means that we can put a 4 there. I'm going to kind of tick this off as I've covered it. 7 speak French. 7 speak German and Spanish. So German and Spanish. That implies that we could have that 2's got to be taken into account for that. So that must be a 5 there. 8 do not speak any of the languages at all. So that we've got to have an 8 on the outside. And then 10 people who speak. So we've kind of used that information. 10 people who speak German speak at least one other language. So that means that these 3 sections must add up to 10. So that must be a 3 there. Right, based on that, we can return back to this 31 speak French. So we've assigned so far 7, 8, 9 of them. So that must mean that we've got 22 there. Ten people who speak German speak at least one other language. So that actually means that there should be a 0 there. And then I think we've got everything that we need in effect. So this adds up to 30, 40, 44. Got 50 people in total. That must mean that there's a 6 there. And that's our Venn diagram filled in. Work out the probability that both people speak Spanish. So the number of people that speak Spanish then. So only speak Spanish is 6. So we're looking at 6 out of 50 the first time. The second time, there aren't 6 Spanish speakers, there are 5. And there aren't 50, there are 49 people. So that's going to give us, we'll capital there. That's going to give us 6 out of 490. So 6 out of 490. Right, question 25. Tyrone uses his calculator to work out the value of a number p. He writes down the first 2 digits of the answer on his calculator. He wrote down 1.2. Complete the error interval. So the smallest then that could be is if we've seen the 1 and the 2, it's got to be 1.2. And the largest it could be would be 1.3. Because we're using the inequality symbol, Now, admittedly, 1.3 wouldn't have been on his calculator, but for example, 1.299999999 could. And because we've got the inequality symbol that says less than, that's going to be my error interval. Question 26. An expression for the nth term of a sequence of triangle numbers is n over n plus 1 n multiplied by n plus 1 all over 2. Prove that the sum of any two consecutive triangle numbers is a square number. Okay, so this is going to be my first triangle number. My next triangle number is going to be one number, so n plus 1. If I put n plus 1 in here, I'm after the sum, so I'm going to do the first one as that. And then the next triangle number is going to be one bigger than that, so I'm going to replace n with n plus 1, so it's going to be n plus 1 times by n plus 2 over 2. Right, so I need to prove that the sum of this is going to be a square number. So we've got them over the same denominator anyway, so I'm going to put them all over 2, and then we'll multiply out the brackets as we should we. Actually, we don't really need to. We can put n plus 1 as a common factor, and then so that's going to be n plus 2. So that is going to become n plus 1 times by 2n plus 2 all over 2, which is going to give me, we can take 2 out as a common factor here, so that's going to become 2 lots of n plus 1 times by n plus 1 all over 2, which is going to be equal to n plus 1 squared, which will have to be a square number because it's squared, whatever the number is, plus 1 and then square it. Right, question 27. The graph of y is equal to f of x is shown in the grid below. Okay, great. On the grid above, sketch the graph of y is equal to f of minus x. So we touched on this earlier. F of minus x, all of these x values will be a negative version. So what it actually creates is a reflection in the y-axis. But we'll put in the x values. That we know, so that's 2, 4, 5, 2, 4, 5. So we just need to try and copy that as best we can. It's a terrible one. So I've put that one in the wrong place. I was trying to work out why that line didn't look right. That's going to be our graph of y is equal to f of minus x. Right, here is the graph of y is equal to tan x. The graph of tan x is translated to give the graph of g of x. Following the translation, the point Q, shown on the graph above, moves to the point R. Point R has a coordinate of 90 minus 5. Find an expression for g of x in terms of x. Right. So let's 90, 180, 270, so that's 360. So the current coordinate is 360, 0. And if that is moved to 90 minus 5, so that point has been moved, so the centre has been moved to there. So so from there to there, we've moved 270, so minus 270. And the point's been moved 5 down. So we'll kind of put it there. 270, not 270, sorry, 90 minus 5. Right, so the minus 5 is going to be a I'm going to do it like a bit like I did the last one. So y is equal to f of x, and I'm starting at 360. So if I wanted to go, let's put that fully in, 360 0, and I'm going to do it in two stages again. So if I've gone from there to 90 comma 0, what that would have is that would be g of so that would become tan of x minus 270. But we actually want it to go 90 minus 5. So that's actually the translation of tan of x minus 270 minus 5. So we're looking for, find an expression for g of x, an expression in terms of x. So we're looking at tan of x minus 270 minus 5. Question 28. ABC and ADC are triangles. The area of triangle ADC is 56 meters squared. Find the length of AB. So we want to find this length here. The issue is we're given the area of this triangle. So we're told that that's 56 meters squared. So we are going to use that to find this length here. Oh gosh, and that doesn't get us. We can't then jump straight to x, so we've got to work out this length here first. So we're actually using 3 advanced trig. Right. So let's plan this out then. So right. So I'm going to avoid using my calculator for a while. I'm going to plan it out. So the area of the triangle 56 is going to be equal to a half of 11 times by y times by sine of 105. Right, so that means then if we rearrange this, so y is going to be equal to 56 times by 2 divided by 11 sine of 105. So, and then using that, we can work out the value of z. So z squared is going to be equal to 11 squared plus y squared minus 2 lots of 11 times y times cos of the angle. So cos 105. So we can say then that z is going to be equal to the square root of that. And then once we've got that, we can say that sine rule. So we're going sine, no, not sine, we're going to go x over sine of 48 is going to be equal to y over sine of 118. Right, so let's do that then. So 56 times by 2 divided by 11 times by sine of 105 gives us 10.540 dot dot dot. Right, so then z then 11 squared plus my last answer squared minus 2 times 11 times my last answer times cos of 105. That gives me my value for z squared. So the square root of that then is going to give us 17.091 dot dot dot. So we'll go a step further before we calculate then. So that's going to be y times by sine 48 over sine of 118. Right, so I want to take my last answer, times that by sine of 48, and then divide that by sine of 118. So that gives me a value of 14.3856 dot dot dot. So that's going to be 14.4. Right, question 29. The diagram shows a parallelogram. The area of the parallelogram is greater than 15 centimeters squared. Show that 2x squared minus 21x plus 40 is less than 0. Right, so the area of a parallelogram is going to be equal to base times the vertical height. We haven't got the vertical height, but we can work it out. Because if that's 150, then that must be 30 degrees. So what we want to do is, and that doesn't work out too bad. So we want to say that the area, so the base, so 2x minus 1 times by, if we want to work out the height, let's change pen just because we're changing topics slightly. This is going to be the hypotenuse, and then this would be the opposite. So we're using the sine ratio, SOH. The side we're trying to work out is O, so it's going to be S times H. So that means that we're looking at 10 minus X times by sine of 30, which is going to give us a half. So sine 30 is a half. So that leaves us with then 2x minus 1 times by 10 minus x all over 2. And we want to, the parallelogram, the area of the parallelogram is greater than 15. So it's greater than 15. Which means, so we're going to expand this bracket and we're going to take the 20 over to the other side. So 2x times by 10 would give us 20x. 2x times by minus x will give us minus 2x. Minus 1 times by 10 will give us minus 10. Minus 1 times by x will give us plus x. I'll miss my squared there. That's got to be greater than 30. Right, I'm going to take everything over to the other side. 0 has to be greater than, we'll do our x squared first, so 2x squared. 20 plus x, so minus 21x. And then minus 10, 30 plus 10 would be 40. Which is what we're asked to show. I'll write it the other way though. So 2x squared minus 21x plus 40 has to be less than 0. Right, find the possible ranges of value for x. So I'm going to try and factorize this. To factorize it, the only way to make an x squared is with a 2x and an x. So we're looking for two numbers that multiply together to make less than 0. So I'm looking for two numbers that multiply together to make 40. And two lots of one of the numbers plus the other number add together to make 21. So I'm thinking 8 and 5. Which way would that work? So 5 times 8 is 16. 5. Right. So the minus 8 goes in the bracket there, and then the minus 5 goes there. So that gives us two values for x. Either x is equal to 5 over 2 or x is equal to 8. If we, just a very basic graph here, we've got two values, 5 over 2 and 8. And we're after the region where the graph is less than 0. So we want this region here. So we're saying that 5 over 2 has to be less than x, which has to be less than 8. Okay, that brings us to the end of the paper. Thank you very much for joining me for the paper. I hope you found it useful. There's some real tough questions near the end of that paper. If you found it useful, please do subscribe if you like. And other than that, the very best of luck with your paper 3s. And I will see you soon.